Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Whitney Martin and I'm your teacher for African American literature. So, a couple notes about me. I'm originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I got my PhD from the University of Arkansas and I really love to read. Here's a shirt that says, see, reading is lit. It's like even got a corny shirt to show you how much I love reading. So we're going to do a lot of reading in this class. I need you to be in touch with me about the pace of the reading and make sure that we're not losing anybody along the way. But because this is supposed to be a survey class and we're supposed to kind of like do a broad range, there's a lot to cover in terms of time period, etc. So I believe that I've chosen really interesting books. And so my focus in my studies is definitely African American literature. I focus on race and class and gender and the intersections of those things, and we'll look at those and other intersections in this class. So I'll have you reading essays that talk about the aesthetics, or at least some portions of essays that talk about the aesthetics of African American art and literature. I will give you some lectures, that'll be videos, about different time periods. So what was writing like during the enslaved era, what was writing like during the Reconstruction era, the Harlem Renaissance, just to name a few. And so that'll be something that you'll focus on in our asynchronous portions of class. And in the synchronous portion, we will read kind of the genre-specific text. So we start with Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl, which is a slave narrative, and we'll sprinkle in some poetry, and we'll end up with The Sellout by Paul Beatty, and kind of do everything in between. Some of the things are on the quote-unquote greatest hits album. So things like Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl, The Conjure Woman, Passing by Nella Larson, and Sula by Toni Morrison are things that, in most African American literature survey classes you'll see on the syllabus. But we'll also be doing some kind of deep cut B-side stuff, namely like Paul Beatty, The Black of the Berry by Wallace Terman, and Linden Hills by Gloria Naylor. Those are kind of less well-known, but they're not exactly obscure, but they don't get all of the attention, so we'll do some of that. I think that looking at both popular and less well-known works will give you a better, well-rounded understanding of the width and breadth of African American literature. We'll be looking at what makes African American literature specific and different from and similar to American literature. And is it helpful to differentiate it? What makes it Black? What makes it American? What makes it unique? Those kinds of things. What makes it African even? We'll be kind of confronting and thinking about those questions throughout the semester. So there will be 3 essays in this class and a PowerPoint presentation regarding one of the texts that you'll be responsible for. I need you to know that I come to literature with a specific mindset, which is to be as open about interpretation of the literature as possible. Students in the past have told me that I come from a place of yes on literature, and that's exactly right. There isn't an exact right answer that I'm looking for. I'm not going to browbeat you into thinking of the text the way that I do. I'm just going to show you the tools with which you can find meaning, and then expect you to find whatever meaning you see, and then show me the support for whatever meaning you're getting from the text. Okay, so we might look at the same text very differently. So I'm very concerned about the sexuality of the characters in passing, because that's very popular and a kind of a very popular way of looking at that particular text. But perhaps you are more concerned about the class elements of that text, and you can read one passage and look at how this is speaking to gender expectations and marital discord and sexuality, and look at the same paragraph or page or chapter and only be concerned about the class elements and the things that are being kind of cataloged and listed for us, so we know that these are very wealthy people, those kinds of things. So we can look at the same thing and be like focused on two different ideas, and both of us are correct based on whatever support or explanation we can offer. So that is kind of an example using passing, but it's true throughout the all of literature as far as I'm concerned. So the most important thing is that you come ready to read, ready to work, ready to talk, definitely. Discussion is really important in my classes because the better we learn to speak to each other about the text, the easier it is for you to write about them later on, okay? So, because that discussion, that back and forth of like, the why do you feel that way about the text? What is the author trying to do here? Why do you think that? What is it that you're specifically seeing? That is what really makes out these essays and makes them better than just kind of plot summaries. Okay, so I will teach you lots of tools, or give you lots of tools in order to better have those conversations throughout the semester. And the other thing to note is that if you are struggling at any point, if you can't keep up with the reading, if you have been hit by COVID or other personal crisis, please let me know as soon as you can, so that I can work with you to adjust deadlines or to block out some office hour time just for you, so that we can come up with a plan or review any concepts or anything like that that you may miss because life happened while we were learning. So that's something to keep in mind. I'm a humanist, so I care about what's going on with the humans, okay? And I think that's it for me. I'm looking forward to a great semester with all of you, and I will see you on Thursday. Thanks.